Hello, everyone. Welcome to Online Seller UK podcast. My name is Prabhat, your host for today, and I'm joined by Adam Shaffer from a company Omni Channel Distribution. And Adam, welcome to our podcast.
Well, thank you. I'm so happy to be here. And I love when countries could work together on the common good, common goal. E-commerce, direct marketing, Amazon has brought us all together. And
Absolutely.
they make it easy to sell and also meet people and work together.
Excellent. So the topic we have today is Prime Day 2022. So before we dive into the topic, Adam, it's good if you introduce yourself as a company and what you do.
Sure. Excellent. Thank you. I'm Adam Shaffer. I'm the president of Omni Channel Distribution, and we are a brand accelerator for companies that want to grow on e-commerce, mostly e-commerce marketplaces, but it could be, direct to consumer, direct to business. But the big game is helping brands, large and small and medium, navigate and grow and protect their brand on Amazon and the other marketplaces. We are a full service agency, but the big differentiator is that we put our skin in the game. We are buying and selling the products. So we can function purely on the model of agency fee-based, but a major majority of our business is buying and selling, where manufacturers or brands are really good at making stuff and coming up with great ideas, products that people love, but they don't love to ship onesies and twosies. So they love to ship pallets of stuff. And so we buy that and represent their brands online. And we try to make sure that we are very integrated with their team and become an extension of their team. And the common goal is, enhance their brand, make sure that the story of the brand is being well told on Amazon, make sure that unauthorized sellers that might be doing things that might not be good for the brand are kept off the brand and keep their channel clean, sell at their minimum advertised price, and help them with every single part of the equation when it comes to Amazon, from the listing of the product to the images that they use, to the videos, to the advertising placement and the types of advertising and the analysis. The management of the day-to-day on Amazon, which could be very complicated, reconciling, chasing cases with Amazon, answering customer questions, all in a compliant manner, launching products and getting reviews that are compliant, which is difficult to do. And then of course the logistics and making sure the one thing is for sure, if you don't have it in stock on Amazon, you can't sell it. And there's an easy way to not have it in stock, and that is with our awesome supply chain these days. You could definitely miss, and we help companies and brands not miss and always be in stock.
Yeah, you've hit the right point there. Supply chain is a struggle these days, especially in the last few years, certainly so things. And I know this was not the topic to start with, but let's talk about the supply chain. So how you're finding, so obviously the costs are going up and margin are getting tight. So how you're managing the brands you're working with?
Well, the good news is we work with a lot of brands that have lots of different SKUs, so or ASINs, and so where there might be some shortages in some, there are others that sometimes make up for that. And if it's a hero SKU, then it's an issue. But we've seen some of the brands that we work with have the product come in, but just slower. And so the benefit of working with us is that although it's slower, we could keep the product as prime as long as it hits our dock in our warehouse in the US before it even gets to Amazon. We have a medallion called Seller Fulfilled Prime. And in the US, it's a big deal. In the UK, you guys are probably 1 to 2 day shipping from almost anywhere, but here it could take forever for a product to go from California to New York. And that's happening quite often. With Prime, your sales always do better if you're listed as Prime. And the trick is get it up to FBA. Their rates are awesome, better than, even if they're marking it up to everybody, which I'm sure they are, it's better than whatever rate you might think you have with the carriers that deliver 1 and 2 day. and we market as Prime the second it's there. Not everybody has that medallion. So in a tight, supply chain, when that product hits Los Angeles, which is usually where it comes into the US or Long Beach, we get it to our warehouse, which is there, not far from there, and it's on Amazon Prime. And immediately we're shipping stuff up, but keeping some back to keep Prime. So it's kind of a hybrid.
Excellent.
But that's a big deal. That's not the cure to cancer, but that definitely helps keep you in stock.
Yeah, well, like you said before, if you're not in stock, you're not going to make a business. So it's important part. And also, when you go out of stock, there is always a gap, and when you come back into stock again, there will be a time lag, right?
Well, yeah, and there's things, you kind of just hit it too. Like, you get a couple of things going on. First of all, prices are, for the most part, prices aren't dropping, right? So, they're continuing to go up, and you got to pay the man. So Amazon gets their fees, and that's kind of that's the way it is. It's not like they're gonna feel bad and give you a break. That's not how it works. And so, do you raise the price? A lot of our manufacturers have to raise their minimum advertised price, and which means does that slow velocity? Sometimes it does. Sometimes the price could be magical, and so but in general, the business has been really strong. But I do think you have this issue where you go out of stock and your rankings could drop if you don't replace them fast enough. So if you spend a lot of money advertising to build your brand and build your SKUs, then that you got to start again. Amazon's trying to do more so you don't lose that juice, but it still does happen today. And the other the other thing is that there's so much competition. Somebody's out there stealing your share, and you don't want that to happen, for sure.
Yeah.
So don't go out of stock, but
Yeah.
don't have too much. and Amazon will cut your space down. I mean, that's for sure. It used to be you ship to Amazon as your fulfillment center for everything, stored here, and that's different today. Today it's you got to be turning your inventory, which is good, except if you can't fit the inventory you need in there, and you got to earn it back by selling more. So another reason to have a partner that can help, maintain your Prime status.
Yeah, absolutely. No, you've said all the right thing and the good thing there. So now going into the topic about Prime Day, 2022. So talk to us when it is going to happen. Let's start with that.
Yes, I want to be definitive, but I can't. So I'll tell you, from everything you read from everywhere, it's July, and it's and so the belief is it's July 18th and 19th, and Monday to Tuesday. So it's kind of Prime days. What's so it's going to happen, and let's say it's will it be the week earlier? I don't think so, but we can't. So just think it's probably kind of mid-July, and you got to start preparing for it now, especially with this potential restriction on how much space they'll allocate for you. So you have to figure out what's your plan. Do you want to be promotional or not promotional? There's a lot of traffic in the US, and I hate to always say the US, but it's a huge market, and that is, to us, bigger than Cyber Monday. That day is not eons bigger, but it's definitely bigger than in revenue than Cyber Monday. So you got to think of this as the holidays. This is your kind of mid-year Super Bowl. I think of it as a midterm, and in college where you always behind, and you somehow the night before you have the Adderall, you stay up all night and you study, and you're there, and you're finally caught up until the next day, and you're behind again until the finals. So this is your time to get that discipline in, and make sure that you have every single part of your advertising supply chain, your product supply chain, and your promotional strategy in place. And what's happening now is you have to be really good at everything, because there's competition, and that competition forces people to become better and better and better. And there's been a lot of money brought in from professionals like the aggregators, whether it's a good or bad model. The fact of the matter is, they're hiring professional people that understand marketing and advertising, and or maybe old Google guys that have come into the space, or from outside of this industry, but they understand the psychographics of customers and imagery and and all that. So you got to have great images. You got to have great photography all around. You have to have great explanations of what your products do and sometimes what they don't do, because what you don't want is to get bad reviews. And so, historically, I think it's always been, don't talk about what it doesn't do, and you don't have to do it in a negative way. You just have to be really clear on what it is, because you don't want the high return rate and you don't want the bad reviews. You want good reviews. And so you need to go review your content and make sure it's really up to snuff. And then think about advertising that you might not be doing today that you should be looking at. So if you're not doing any type of video advertising today, if you have no videos, it's really important. But the new video advertising that's out there, the conversion rates are higher. And so in the world where everything goes up in price, you definitely want a higher conversion rate. And you see it when you search for a product, and you'll see this movement in the middle of the page, and your eye just goes to it. And if it's telling the story, they're going to go. And so that's the beauty of that. Then there's off Amazon advertising, which has become more important. The battle between, do I send it to my own Shopify site or do I send it to Amazon? Well, I mean, Amazon doesn't really want you to send it to the Shopify, so they're discounting it. Plus, they love off Amazon traffic, and obviously they pay a lot for that. But there's something to be said for pushing a portion of that to Amazon to help your SEO, to help your products rise in the ranking. So, and if you look at the comparison between the Shopify results, and I say Shopify, I mean direct to consumer results, with the discount that Amazon's giving right now, I would use it to just weigh the two together. Which is the lowest cost to acquire the order, because Amazon owns the customer. But I do think there's a lot of drip over from, if they like the brand, I do think that they might buy from Amazon and give us so easy, and it's great. But if they like the brand, they're going to go to the brand's website and learn more about it. And sometimes it's a lot deeper content. And so I do think that ultimately they'll get that customer on their list. So I do think that try both. But there's a lot to think about. And we talk about Prime Day, but it could be any day. It could be every month. You should go through some kind of a disciplined review of your business. And so we created a checklist, and I'm sure we'll continue to add to our checklist or take things off. But as things evolve quickly, you kind of need a checklist. And we have like a template of ours that we put online on our website, omnichanneldistribution.com. And it's free. You can take it and see where it fits and makes sense in your business. And if you're not thinking about some of these things, maybe you should, because I do think that, is there one silver bullet? No, you got to be really good at everything, and it all adds up. But there are definitely things that you shouldn't do that can get you into a lot of trouble. And so you always try to stay on the white hat side, or the good side of things, but try to make sure that you're telling a story. I travel to Europe all the time, and I buy the power adapters, they're like power converters from 110 to 220. They step it down where you blow up your electronics out in Europe. And it doesn't happen the other way around. So the thing is, they've learned so much from the reviews and the returns and the issues that you'll look at almost all the companies that sell these products now, and they'll say, this product is for these types of electronics. And they put big X's, don't do this with these products, because you'll blow up your hairdryer or whatever it would be. So it's built for this, not for this. And that's pretty blatant, but that only came because of major returns and complaints. And you don't want that. That'll put you out of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. So there are lots of things you mentioned to get prepared. So let's talk about looking into a promotions and the advertising side. So for a seller, there are two area where I wouldn't say lose out, but two area they would invest. One is discounted deals for the Prime Day. That's one. And another area seller would invest is the advertising side. So how do we balance this? Because yes, we are paying for the PPC side, we're paying for the promotion side. And we need to think about margin. Yes, okay, volume is important, turnover is important, but if we are not making much, what's the point? So in your opinion, so how do we balance these two area for the Prime Day?
I mean, it is a great question that'll be debated to the end of time, but and it's probably always changing. And if it was
Yeah.
your own direct-to-consumer site, it's much more clear because you understand what the cost will acquire, you understand what your basket is. You don't get the basket at Amazon; you get a piece of the basket, like they get the basket, and that's, great. And will that customer really eventually come over? It's not as fast as you selling. So I think what you have to look is what kind of product is it, and first is it a product that has accessories that on a regular basis need to be added to it, like an air filter for your house. They have these HEPA filters, and every month or every 2 months you have to change the filter. The filter costs $40 or $50. I want to get more units out there. So, if I could put those out there, and I know that there's this, for every filter I sell in a year, I sell 3 maybe, or 2.5 of these others. I want to seed the universe. Maybe I don't want to lose money, but maybe I could lose money. And you got to do your math. So I think first, like, what kind of product is it? A one shot and that's it? Or is there other things that could be purchased? Or is it like a bag of coffee? We buy beans, coffee beans, and now we buy it every month. So I want to get my brand out there if I feel that I have a great product, and this is my chance to really get the products out there, in a massive way. So I would take the margin hit. I would do advertising and promo if I have it. But if it's a one hit, I think I'd be a bit more careful, especially if you don't own that customer. And I would make sure that you're making money and that it's incremental. But if you're short in supply and you don't think that you're going to be getting more in, for a little bit of time, don't discount. Don't discount. I think make the margin, do the minimal advertising that you need to do so you don't, blow it. But you don't want to go out of stock on that stuff. But I do think that more and more products have extensions, whether it's a filter or it's the food, kind of thing, or the consumable, like it's the brand. So if they really like the brand and they like the quality, and you have other products that are in the same genre but not replacements, then it is also worth acquiring somebody that likes my brand. And if you're a private labeler and the only place to get it is, through Amazon, through you, I would be aggressive. It really comes down to just don't do it if you don't have enough. The worst thing you do is not maximize your margin, and then you're out of stock for a month or something. That would sting.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's great advice, Adam, for the Prime Day. So I think we are done, really, nearly. So so we've gone through a few things. So before we close and wrap up, is there any other advice you'd want to give for Amazon sellers before we close today?
Yeah, I think that staying focused is important, and making sure that you're always trying to up your game. And I do see so much educational stuff out there for people to learn from each other, join communities, because it's not always black and white. It's very gray, and you need the people that have done it before, touched the oven and gotten their fingers burned, so you could learn faster. And don't stop learning because it keeps on going. So you got to keep focused and also make sure you stay current, because what was allowable yesterday might not be allowable, today. And so things change fast. So again, sometimes it's good to get a partner if you're passionate about products, but the other side of the business is not a lot of fun. Get some help, because if you don't, you're going to be throwing away your money when you could really be maximizing your money. If you love product, I think Amazon is a great platform. It's a great platform to go multi-country. Can you imagine starting up your own business today, trying to go multi-country, even your own website? But Amazon does make it easier by far for us to be everywhere. So, take advantage of that if you're the kind of person that likes to create products or sell other people's products, and try it. That's
excellent.
My thing.
Yeah, no, excellent. Thanks for your time again, Adam, today. And that's great advice for Prime Day and Amazon in general. So I'm sure we'll catch up soon. and pick up another topic and then book another podcast.
And I feel that, you know, the UK is going to have a great summer and great weather, and it's not going to rain, and it's going to be beautiful. So it's coming, man. It's coming.
Thank you. That's a great wish for us.